In this video, I'm going to show you how I made the LED neon sign that I put in my workshop, or how you can make any LED neon sign or figure. Also, in the description, I'll leave you the links to all the materials in case you want to make your own. If you watched my last video about remodeling my workshop, you likely noticed the LED neon sign I made. They're now very popular, not just for writing, but also for creating various shapes and colors. What you might not know is how easy and affordable it is to make one. The first thing we're obviously going to need is the LED strip is available as a neon option in various colors, depending on your preference. These LEDs work with 12V, so we're also going to need a power supply. Now let's see how they're connected. We also need a soldering iron and solder, which are the only tools required for the entire process. If you look closely on one side, the LED strip has a black mark every inch or so. This line tells us where we can cut the LED strip. We'll talk about that a little later. Knowing this, we must remember not to make very small pieces, as they must be multiples of 1 inch. Once we know what we're going to do, we have two options. The first is to stick the strip onto a transparent acrylic. We can print the piece we want to print, place it under the transparent acrylic, and on top, cut the LED strip to the lengths that the piece requires. Just stick it with cyanoacrylate. I don't like this technique because it doesn't look as neat. You need experience for it to turn out well and not look bent. I think the second technique is the best, which involves 3D printing some guides for the strips so they don't get deformed. You just fit them in, no glue needed, and they look perfect. The first thing we need is a program to generate the pieces in 3D. I use SketchUp because it's easy and intuitive. Also, if you use the web version, it's free. Once you're inside the program, whether it's the software or the web version, we'll use the 3D text tool, the one resembling a side view, to write our text. Below, we can select any font we want, and in the box above, whatever we want it to say. For my workshop, I use the Hack Life. Once set, the full text appears. With the measuring tool that has a little ruler icon, we can measure the entire phrase. If it's too small or too big, we can resize it with the scale tool. I made mine 1 meter 60 centimeters wide. Now let's edit the letters. Right-click on the phrase and select Explode. Now we zoom in with the scroll wheel and measure again, but this time the width of the letter has to be 8 millimeters or more. If it's less than that, then we'll have to do it again, but by using a thicker font or making our sign bigger. We can also use the push tool to make the letters thicker, but if it's your first time using SketchUp, then I wouldn't recommend it. Now we select all the letters, and with the scale tool we make them taller. They have to be 1 centimeter tall. You can see in the lower right corner how tall they are. Now hollow out the letters so the LED can fit inside. We select the offset tool, then click on the top face of each letter, and while holding the click, move it. In the same corner as before, it shows the thickness of the walls we're making. My letter is 8 millimeters, so I subtract the 6 millimeter LED strip and divide by 2, giving 1 millimeter for the wall. If your letter is 10 millimeters, subtract 6 divide and you get 2 millimeters for the wall. Once you've done this for all of them using the push or pull tool, click on the box inside each letter and press the number 8. This will lower it by 8 millimeters, and that's all. Then you click Export and choose 3D model, and it's ready to print. And I know you're going to tell me that you need to have a 3D printer, but obviously, if you don't have one, you can send this same file you just generated to any shop in your city that specializes in making these prints. There are thousands, I assure you. Now comes the part that's not difficult, just a bit tedious. First, let's see that our impressions are, let's say, like a groove. So we're going to cut a piece of LED strip that fits right into each of the grooves we have, and now we're going to wire them. By the way, sorry that my nails were all black and dirty, but we had just finished digging the hole for the pool we're putting in the yard. Subscribe to stay updated on the project. If we look at each side of the LED strip we cut, we'll see that they have 2 contacts, positive and negative. So each end of each piece of LED strip must be connected to the next one. That is on one side of the piece of LED strip. 2 wires enter one side and exit the other, then continue to the next, and so on with each of the letters. The LED strip doesn't have a specific direction for connecting the wires, but you must always make sure that the negative of one LED strip matches the negative of the other. And the same goes for the positive, of course. You can use any wire, but black is best since it's less noticeable. If for some reason you absolutely need to use a piece of LED strip that's less than 25 centimeters or it doesn't fit exactly, what you can do is remove all the plastic, let's say from that leftover piece, leaving only the LEDs themselves. And then you fold that to the back and put it back into the groove. That way, all of them should be connected. Keep testing each letter as you connect it to make sure everything is working fine, and you haven't connected any of them incorrectly. Now, on either of the 2 ends that we have left unconnected, we put 2 wires, but these go directly to the 12-volt power supply. Be sure to respect both positive and negative connections. And if you want, in between, we can place an LED controller. This one is super simple to connect since one side goes to the LED strip and the other goes to the power supply. It's very simple. To finish, we just need to put it in place. I put it at the top of my workshop, using a level to make sure it's straight. First, I taped everything together and then I glued each letter to the wall. You can stick it on acrylic, screw it in, or do whatever you want, and so can I. What I did was paint each visible wire the same color as the wall. My wall was kind of gray, and I had some leftover paint, so what I did was paint the wires. That way they weren't visible, but you can leave them black or paint them any color you want. I also took the chance to install this Bremen LED light under the sign. As you can see, it's large and expandable. I opened it until it fit in the curtain frame, and it held so tightly I didn't need to screw it in. It stayed there, held in place. And that's how it stays, with a remote to turn it on and off. I think it's amazing, and it looks amazing too. I hope you liked and found this video helpful, and if so, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and leave a like. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye. If you made it this far, maybe. Join me on Patreon with a monthly pledge to access exclusive content and early videos.